And thank you for staying with us. Black Boy Rise is an anti-oppression educational platform organizing boys and men of color in New York City from grades 8 through 12. And joining us now to tell us more about it is the founding facilitator of Black Boy Rise, Luis Alejandro Tapia. And thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you.
Hey, doing some great work.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we talk about really dealing with young men of color. Of course, in America, a lot of challenges. But you are taking the bull by the horns and saying, I want to be a force, and I want to give them a place and a space. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, so what we do is we carve out spaces for young men and boys of color to really get into deep conversation, to really get into deep relationship building around their own identities, right? So young men, young boys, and I say men and boys because we have it so that it is 8 through 12, and we also have mentorship opportunities. We also have facilitation opportunities. So even though a lot of the curriculum is focused for boys, it's built by the boys, but it's also facilitated by the men that come and want to be big brothers to these boys, right? And so in those opportunities, which we don't often see in spaces, right? What we often see is, let's put the boys in the gym, give them basketball, that'll solve an issue, right? Let's show them how to sharpen a knife or go hiking or, you know, or even like shine their shoes and know how to dress up, right? And that's great. Those have been modes of survival for a long time. And now what's happening is young men, right, and I say that from personal experience, are developing these shells of like, wait, is this what it actually means to be a man? And so we're creating opportunities for young men really to be self-engaged in their own development around what masculinity means, right? So they get to self-define what it means to be a young black boy. We get to self-define what it means to be a black man, right? Regardless of what the media has told us, regardless of what the president have told about, you know, have said things about us, we get to do that with each other.
And what do you hear when you have these conversations with these young men? Because obviously, what I tell people is the young people of today face a lot more different challenges than, you know, our older counterparts. And today's challenges are really deep.
They're deep, and I think because of social media, because of the amount of information that our young people receive, that we receive, what happens is that we're even further disconnected from each other, right? And so there aren't spaces where there are young people talking, and there aren't spaces where older people are talking with young people, right? Like how many spaces are intergenerational that we can count off the top of our head? Not many, right? And usually if it is, it's usually kind of like a career panel, right? Let me tell you how to be a man, as opposed to let me sit here and be here for you and listen to you. And so I think that there's not deep relationships that are being built with our young black men, right? There's not. And also there's not spaces that are specifically for the betterment, for the betterment of young black boys, but also by the young black men, right? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to talk about? Who is it that needs to listen to the things that you need to say?
So how are you getting these young men?
Yeah, and so there's different ways. I think recently we were invited by a few high schools in the Bronx to come in and do some work with the young men that they felt were kind of like, you know, we want them here. They've been kind of like in the hallways hanging out. What can we do with them? And so we introduced our program to them and also let them know that this is about choice, right? So this is not about compliance, right? Black Boy Rise is not about like, show us your troubled kids and we're gonna like calm them down. No, right? We're gonna listen. What is it? What is it? Is it because you don't have the right relationships in the school? Is it because maybe some of the like things, right, are hard? Some of the skills that you need to learn in school are hard. And so how can we serve you, right? And so organizations have been in contact with us through social media, through Instagram, right? Everyone's on the gram nowadays.
Right.
So that's how most people are getting in contact with us.
Yeah.
And when they see me.
Right. Well, that no question they see you now. I'm thinking about like many times young people get disappointed real quick, you know. People say, I'm going to be there, I'm not there, this, that. You look at today, the president, the words that are coming out of his mouth. What is the method of encouragement that you're giving to these young men to say, hey, you know what, rise?
Yeah. I mean, it's in the name, right? Black Boy Rise, right? So the premise is already that we understand that you are magical. We understand that you are intelligent. We understand that you are special. We understand that you have knowledge, right? And so those are words that maybe they haven't heard before, right? I know it took me some time to grow to really like hear it. And maybe people may have told it to me, but there was a particular time when I started hearing it and understanding it and seeing it myself. So really, it's really in the relationships, right? Like young people know if you're honest or not.
Yeah.
Right? They'll call you out. They'll be like, oh, you fake.
Right.
Right? And also they'll kind of stay close to see if they can trust you or not, right? And so we can really build deep relationships, which all of our facilitators are trained facilitators and know that relationship is key. That is what is like, that's what brings our young men in, right? We start small. We're not trying to say we want to recruit 500 boys. We're trying to say is where are these young men that want to have these conversations, and we'll be there. Whether it's 5, whether it's 15, whether it's 50.
Beautiful. So if people want to get in touch with you, what are they doing?
Yeah, so we do retreats, one-day retreats. And so we'll drop into like a community center, a boys club, and do a whole day retreat. We'll bring facilitators, we'll bring workshops. But we also do a curriculum for half of a school season. So schools, the DOE, we have a DOE contract also, can contact us to see if that's something that they'd like. Either one-day things or kind of like a continued curriculum.
And you mentioned it's not just you. Of course, you
Not
got a
just you,
contract
got a
people
whole
with you.
squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A whole squad comes
I'd love
with
to see you in one of those.
you. If you call, I'll come.
Boom.
That's it. It's real simple.
Yeah.
All right? So you call, I'll come. So want to let people know about Black Boy Rise, and there is a leadership retreat.
There is a leadership retreat. We might have one coming up actually in Camden. Right? So Camden has called us and be like, yo, we want you guys out here. And so we might be out there this fall coming up. And they can reach us at LouKnows.com/BlackBoyRise, at BlackBoyRise, at LouKnowsGood. You can find us.
Well, keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Hey, appreciate you, and make sure that we'll get people connected to you. And of course, we hope that if you want more information about, visit LouKnows.com//BlackBoyRise and follow Lou on Instagram at BlackBoyRise and Lou Knows Good. Now, don't go anywhere. We do have more show coming up. We'll be right back right after this.